This is the video on Routine 101 of the Find Gift game. At first, it resets all probability distributions, and it sets G here to the game number, which will later be used for the seed for the probability distribution. Next, it defines the frequency of the probability distribution by first saying there are 200 possible outcomes, and then it says each one has frequency of 1, all 200. Then it sets Q control register, which is the quill, how wide lines are, to 0, which is going to be a very narrow line. Then it sets the rotation register R to 0, the size register to 22, that's going to be used for patterns that we have. Sets T and W both to 34, that's going to be for the size of the wrapping paper. Then it says for I of 0, it's first going to set the P control register to one of the values in our list, and that's going to be used to select the wrapping paper. Well, down here is the next I, going to go up to 9 one at a time. Well, 0 to 9 is going to go around here 10 times. Then inside there it says for J of 0, set P to the pattern number from our list of patterns, and then build the pattern and put it into this pattern list. Well, down here we have the next J. It says till it gets to 4 one at a time. Well, it started at 0, so it's going to go around this loop 5 times. Every time it's inside this other loop, it's going to go around 10 times. Then it says for K of 0, go get a random value, but it's a random value without replacement, which means it can only get that value one time. And since there's 200 of these things as described up here, it's going to get one of the 200 things exactly, and it says one time. Then it uses that value it gets to find a position, a randomly selected position, and it only can pick that position one time. But because it's rows and columns, it has to figure out here the X and Y value for each one of those positions. And then here's where it does a show of the picture. The picture is the wrapping paper it's going to use. It puts that on the screen first. Then it says make the list of dots for the pattern. Then select the color from the different colors we have to make. And then put that pattern on the screen at the XY position. But also it says change the color to 0, which is black, and then do a draw of that pattern. This will outline the pattern then in black. And that's the end of the K. 3, 3, one at a time. It's going to go around there 4 times. So we have it going around 10 times, and inside that we have it going around 5 times, and inside that we have it going around 4 times. That makes the 200 times. So when it comes out of these 3 loops, and we call these nested loops, it's going to set T to how tall, W to how wide, X position of 0, Y 90, and it's going to set the control register for images to 1, and then the next line, and I have to move it up a little bit, is going to be a get. It's going to go get that image. Well, now let's go to the game and look at this. What it did was it randomly made all of the 200 different possible GIFs and then randomly placed them on the screen using that probability distribution. So now we have an image of the 200 GIFs. So the next time we want to show the GIFs, we just have to put that entire image on the screen. Well, now I've highlighted in green another set of instructions from the same routine, 101, but now it's going to build the row of GIFs we're to find. It's going to set up the probability distribution again. First it resets it, then it says, well, there's 200 possibilities, each having a frequency of 1, and then it says it's going to start with the control register T for how tall, W for how wide, and then it's going to set up U and V, but in this case the U and V are the same as X and Y, because we're going to use it for this put down here. Now, next we say for I of 0 down to I5, that is, we'll go around this loop 6 times. First, we're going to select one of the 200, and it's going to use the puck action because without replacement. We don't want to select the same GIF twice. Next, we're going to set the match index at I offset, to the value of L. Then we're going to use that value of L to tell us exactly what the X and Y position of that GIF is. We selected one of the 200, so remember that's the whole bottom part of the screen filled with GIFs. It's going to calculate that XY position. And then it's going to save it in this list, the X anyway, in X matrix at offset I, one of the 6. It's going to save that X value, and it's going to save the Y value. So it knows exactly where that one of the 6 is located. Then it says, well, in the row of 6, it's going to be in the position UV. Remember, up here we set U and V. So it knows both where the GIF is among the 200, it knows its location, and it knows the location within the 6 GIFs that are to be found. Then it sets the O register, which is for images, to 2, and then says get that image, and then it immediately says put it. Well, it gets it from the 200, and then it puts it as one of the 6. Then it says add to U, that's the horizontal position of the row of GIFs, 55, and then the 4, we started for I, and here's the next I, 5, which means it's going to go around here 6 times and position all 6 of the GIFs. Then it says set T to 40, Y to 320, XY to 640. That is the whole row of the GIFs to be found. And it says set to image 3 and do a get of that image. So now it has a get that it made of all of the 200. Now it did a get of the list of 6. So if it ever wants to display the list of 6, it just has to say it wants to display image 3. Now that's the end of this routine's instructions.